Welcome to episode 6 of How to Do Character Voices with the Beginner Player. Today we're going to be doing something very easy but also a lot of fun, and that is a Firbolg. They're usually big, sort of furry, lovable characters, and this kind of slow and they're on the big side, so I usually like to do a low pitch for them. So in the last videos, we went over the 4 basic elements of things you can use to change how your character sounds. Element 1 was fast or slow. When I picture a Firbolg, I think of a character that's a lot more slow in how he talks. Element 2, pitch. A lot more slow in how he talks. And then breathiness. Is he constricted or is he breathy? I usually think of somewhere in between. I don't usually worry a whole lot about that for the Firbolg.
Well, if I was breathy, I might sound like, this, and I might be a bit more of a floaty personality. And if he was more constricted, he might sound a bit more like this, a bit more like the Goliath in the last video. We're not quite there.
And then the last one was loudness. I usually have a character that's a bit more on the soft side. He's kind of big and he's got this
low pitch, but he's also a bit more relaxed. He doesn't need to be loud. He certainly can be if he wants to, but he's a bit more on the low, slow side. Well, yeah.
So that kind of personality is usually what I picture when I go for a Firbolg. But of course there's many variations that you can take on this for however you want to do it. So to start off with, how fast does your Firbolg talk? Is he
a bit more on the fast side? Maybe he's a bit more of like an auctioneer or something. He kind of goes from here to there and he's thinking about this, thinking about that, but I usually prefer to think of him as on the slow side and more relaxed. There's also to think about how his pitch is. Maybe he's a bit up here. Maybe he's a bit more, a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he does that kind of singing thing from a low to a higher to back to a low again. And then maybe he's got a little bit of breathiness to him as well. You could do something a bit more like this. And he's just really relaxed or really constricted. And he's having some trouble, with this or with that or with this, what I'm saying. And he's got a bit more constriction to his voice. And of course is he loud? Does he always have something to say really loudly and really obnoxiously and loud as I can be? Or is he a bit more on the soft side of what he's trying to say?
Something that kind of helps me is I purse my lips a lot, so when I'm talking, my lips are locked in place and my tongue goes up just a little bit to kind of create that sound like that. So the tongue is curved and going towards the roof of my mouth, and that creates this kind of sound right here. And then the important thing with that I usually do with Firbolgs is really try to add a lot of character. This is an NPC that I usually throw at my players when there's kind of a random shop that they go visit.
Welcome to Balthazar's Emporium. I sell random odds and ends that you might need. I've got half a cat I'm trying to get rid of. If you take it down to the cat store, you can get another half, and together you might have a whole cat, so that's something to think about. I've also got this jar of rancid cow manure if you need some fertilizer. I apologize for the smell.
Something I usually add to Firbolgs as well is they kind of will slow down mid-sentence.
Well, I really don't know. Maybe if you tried down at the store across the street, they might have mule sweat. I don't have that kind of, ingredient myself.
So another thing to add to think about is, does your Firbolg have a bit of a speech impediment or not? Does he kind of struggle to enunciate his words and really struggle to talk and really think on, like, is he constantly trying to make space to think before he says his next words? That's usually the vibe I try to create with my Firbolgs whenever I act them, is they're really kind of slow and always meandering and trying to think about how they can make time, because they need time to really think about what they're going to say next. But they're very just kind of slow and lovable and just big and nice, simple characters. Firbolgs I usually picture them as just really simple, really nice. So take a moment to think about your Firbolg and what your Firbolg sounds like. Is he on the fast side?
Maybe a little bit more, has a little bit more to say, you know. He could be a bit more active in what he's got to say. He might be a lawyer, or maybe he's got something that, you know, he needs to really get off his chest.
Or is he a bit slower?
Is he a bit slower? You know what I'm saying?
And then is he a little bit on the higher side? Is he
A little bit up here, maybe? A little bit over, like, this area on your pitch? Or is he as low as you can go?
And then there's the breathiness.
Is he a bit more constricted in how he talks? Or is he a bit more breathy in how he talks?
And then the loudness.
Or is he loud and really bursting his voice with what he's trying to say? Or is he a bit on the softer side of what he's got to say, you know what I mean?
And then add some kind of oohs and uhs and really slow down your words if you want to bring out that aspect of the character a little. If you want to bring out some more character in it, some uniqueness to the sound, and have fun with it. So go ahead and practice that, take that to your table, and have a blast. Happy voice acting.